Well, joining us now is the new governor of South Dakota, Larry Rhoden. Governor, it's good to have you.
Very good to be with you.
So President Trump, he issued multiple executive orders on day one to kind of cut through the bureaucratic red tape of the Biden years and bring back America's energy dominance. So how important is the energy industry in your state?
We do produce a lot of energy by virtue of ethanol and biodiesel and products like that. So our energy policies are extremely important to South Dakota.
Let's go to tariffs for a second. So, you know, they're kind of all the rage this week, right? Here's what the White House press secretary, Karen Leavitt, had to say regarding the president's reasoning for imposing tariffs on Canada. Watch this.
Canada has been ripping off the United States of America and hardworking Americans for decades. If you look at the rates of tariffs across the board that Canadians have been imposing on the American people and our workers here, it is egregious. In fact, I have a handy-dandy chart here that shows not just Canada, but the rate of tariffs across the board. If you look at Canada, since you brought it up, American cheese and butter, nearly 300% tariff.
So, I mean, that's a pretty good explanation. So what do you think kind of the sharp elbows, you know, diplomacy by Trump with Canada, and how are these dueling tariffs going to affect South Dakota, if at all?
Yeah, well, we're pretty close to Canada, so it's an issue here, and South Dakota is very dramatically an ag state, and so we're heavily reliant upon agriculture. Having said that, I think the farmers and ranchers in South Dakota recognize that Donald Trump is a New York real estate guy, and he understands the art of the negotiation, and we witnessed him in action 8 years ago. So overwhelmingly, I think the farmers and ranchers trust President Trump. At the same time, we understand the importance of agriculture, and I was recently in D.C. and met with Secretary Rollins several times, and so we've got a good working relationship with this administration, and we're able to communicate with them and effectively work on solutions to our problems. That's something we haven't seen for 4 years, and so we're pretty optimistic at our ability to work with DC on the problems facing South Dakota, especially in agriculture.
Yeah, that would be a big change and a welcome change. So your legislative session just came to an end, and you made history. You signed a bill into law banning sanctuary cities. So tell us about that, as well as kind of the smart conservative policies being implemented, issues like life, Second Amendment.
Yeah, this week marked the end of our regular session. We have a 2-week recess now, but we passed a number of significant pieces of legislation. And Senate Bill 7 was banning sanctuary cities in South Dakota. And I thought that was a pretty strong act of support for President Trump and his policies and what he's doing to protect America. So beyond that, we had several bills dealing with Second Amendment rights and life issues, and also on property taxes. We just last week, I signed the bill that passed through the legislature, Senate Bill 216, to provide some relief for property taxpayers. And ironically, it was a problem brought on by in the Nome administration. When I was lieutenant governor, we had a large influx of people into South Dakota, and it caused an issue with our property tax valuations for owner-occupied. And we're trying to deal with buffering that increase and help our property taxpayers.
You know, for a small state, South Dakota actually has a lot of power right now. You know, Senator John Thune, Senate Majority Leader, your predecessor, Kristi Noem, is Secretary of Homeland Security, in charge of securing our border, among other things. That's pretty good.
Yeah, we're pretty proud of our South Dakotans, and Secretary Noem, she was started out in the legislature. When I was in the legislature, became a congresswoman and then governor, and now Secretary of Homeland Security. And Senator Thune, quality people representing our nation now that are from South Dakota, and we're very proud of them.
Final question I got to ask you, maybe a little rivalry thing, but are you cracking down on the border crossings from those sneaking in from North Dakota? You think they're jealous about Mount Rushmore?
Yes, I think that's probably true. I think we always wanted their oil and they wanted Mount Rushmore. So I've had people propose to me that we should have divided South Dakota and North Dakota, East and West Dakota, and then where I come from out west, we'd have Mount Rushmore and the oil.
South Dakota Governor Larry Rhoden, good luck and thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.